East China School District Board of Education regular board meeting to order. We'll start with a moment of silence and pledge allegiance, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on our agenda is items of interest, recognition, and inquiry. Any of our board members have anything? None? Dr. Skalka?
Just thank you to everyone who has gotten this school year off to a wonderful start. We're very, very appreciative of all the hard work, and we're looking forward to keeping that going. So thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is special recognition. We'll do our spring athletic awards. We will start with Mr. Ming from Marine City High School and then Mr. Cook from St. Clair High School.
Dr. Skalka and members of the board, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here tonight and to present to you our Spring Sports Athlete Awards. As is the case with our spring recognition, many of our student athletes have moved on to college. So the ones that are still in high school, a lot of them will be here this evening, but many of them moved on to college and were unable to attend this evening. The first group that we'd like to recognize are the girls soccer team. They were the 2014 MAC Gold champions. Also, we had team champions, the varsity softball team. They were the Blue Division champions in the All-State Academic. Individuals to be recognized from the girls soccer team. Emily Andrews was All-League. Come on up. Sarah Barunda, All-League. Jessica Darga, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team, and the MAC MVP. Christy Rutho was named All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team, and the Times Herald Player of the Year runner-up. Olivia Viney was All-League, All-District, and All-Area First Team. Alexis Woodard, All-League, All-District. Head coach Dave Frent was the MAC Gold Division Coach of the Year.
Wow.
From our varsity softball team, Haley Beard, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team. Kara Heil, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team, All-Regional. Mallory Kern, All-District. Natalie Tipton, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team. Taylor Tope, All-District, All-Area First Team, All-Regional. Hannah Yaden, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team, All-Regional. Head coach Marv Osterlin was the MAC Blue Division Coach of the Year. Other individuals receiving recognition from our girls tennis team, Katrina Marshall, All-League. Katie Westerhoff, All-League. From our boys varsity track team, Kenton Rivard was All-League, All-State. From our varsity girls track team, Hannah Coverdell, All-League, All-District, All-Area First Team, All-Regional, All-State, and the 300-meter hurdle state champion. Also from our girls track team, Ann Seifert, All-League, All-District, All-Regional. And Devin Thomas, All-Regional. our spring award recipients. I'd like to introduce Mr. Jeff Cook from St. Clair High School.
Good evening, Dr. Skelka, members of the board, President Bewer. At this time, I'd like to recognize the award recipients for Spring Sports 2014 at St. Clair High School. First, the team awards in varsity baseball, Mac White Division champions, and the 5th straight MHSAA district champions. Varsity softball, MHSAA district champions for the 3rd year in a row. Varsity girls tennis, MHSAA regional champions, I think it's 19 out of the last 23 years.
Wow.
Varsity boys track, we're the MAC Gold dual meet champions and MAC Gold division champions. Individual awards. Jared Toby, varsity baseball, all league, all district, all area first team, all region, all state, MAC most valuable player, and he was the Times Herald Male Athlete of the Year for the Blue Water area. Josh Barnes, all league, all district, and all area first team. Blake Meldrum, all league, all district, and all area first team. The recently retired veteran coach of ours, Bill McElrath, was the league coach of the year and the district coach of the year. For varsity softball, Chelsea Schweiger, all league, all district, all area first team, and all region. Miranda Gregg, all league, all district, all area first team, and all region. Avery Humes, all league, all district, all area first team, and all region. Abigail Shunk, all league, all area first team, and all state. Also in tennis, Danielle Slonik, all league, all area first team. Chelsea, are you starting to feel lonely up there? In varsity tennis, Claire Brooks, all league, all area first team. Allison Kennedy, all area first team. Allie Winkler, all area first team. And Coach Dave Klutz was the regional coach of the year. In the sport of varsity boys track, Trevor Pickett, all league and all region. Cody Smith, all league, all area first team, all region, and all state. Trevor Holowati, all league, all region, all state. Brad Eisen, all league, all area first team, all region, and all state. Jack Keys, all region and state finals qualifier. Adam Jazowski, all region and state finals qualifier. Stephen Foley, all region and state finals qualifier. Cameron Williams, all region and state finals qualifier. Larry O'Shadless, all region and state finals qualifier. Brandon Boyd, all region and state finals qualifier. Nice. And Coach John Davidson, MAC Gold Division Coach of the Year. Always smiling. In the sport of varsity golf, Joe Fraley, all league, all district, all area first team. Mitch Moore, all league, all area first team. In the sport of varsity soccer, Mackenzie Kent, all league, all district, and all area first team. Nicole Denny, all league, all district, and all area first team. Morgan Croner, all district and all area first team. And those are our award recipients for spring 2014. Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is the Academic Spotlight, St. Clair Middle School, Michael Alley Principal. St. Clair Middle School is proud to share a few highlights to the start of the new school year, including the Summer Reading Challenge, Student Leadership Seminar, and their yearly Washington, D.C. trip.
This happens every time I get up to speak.
Sorry, Michael.
Mr. Miller. Don't worry, Mike, it is personal.
It's consistent. Nothing. Well, thank you, President Br, Dr. Skelka, members of the board. I'm very pleased to be up here to talk about St. Clair Middle School. I think this year I'm doing it a little bit different. In years past, we've always focused on one thing. And this year, what I wanted to focus on is what we did to get ready for the start of the school year. And us getting ready for the start of the school year actually started back in May. And in looking back, getting ready for the next school year, we took a look at the things we did well, the things we'd like to improve on, and one of the areas we wanted to improve on was reading. So we threw out a reading challenge to our students, the St. Clair Middle School Summer Reading Challenge, in hopes to get kids reading over the summer. And as you can read there, we know reading improvement is an ongoing goal at every level in education for all those reasons. The trick was to try to get kids to read over the summer so they didn't have what we commonly refer to as a summer slide. So we teamed up with Scholastic. We had all of our current 6th and 7th graders register online. We had this banner made, had every kid in the school sign it. I pledged to help St. Clair Middle School read for a world record. Our temp was 990,000 minutes before the start of school, and we promised to log their minutes on the website. And we've had tremendous positive results from that in everything but the logging of the minutes on the website. I had parents come up to me over the summer, come into school before school, and just talk about the kids reading and how neat that was. And I said, hey, great, are you logging it in the website? No, forgot the password, forgot to log in, forgot to do it. So other than that, it was a very positive thing. We had Neiman's team up with us. They offered incentives depending on what level a student got to as far as the number of minutes they read. I think if they read a certain amount, they got an ice cream. They read another amount, they got something else, and it worked its way up to a coney dog, chips, and a pop, and that was very positive for us. We had other places that sponsored things. One was the Sky Zone out in Sterling Heights, gave us certificates. Again, if kids met a certain level, they got a free hour at the Sky Zone. If you never been there, I would highly recommend you take your kids, your grandkids, or yourself there to bounce off the walls. It is a very slick setup. So that was a neat thing for the kids. We also, during the summer, got together with Marine City Middle School, and we offered a summer leadership seminar that's offered through the Michigan Association of Student Councils / Association of Honor Societies. And they came in and ran seminars for both middle schools. I think we had about 80 kids there, and maybe a little bit less, and it was very positive. All the advisors for the different student groups were there. They were very impressed with it. They had speakers throughout the day. It took a whole day. Kids, like I said, it was a very positive experience, and the whole goal at the middle school level was to develop leadership skills. Many times at the middle school level, kids would rather just sort of sit back and not do much. And our goal, Ms. Woolman and myself, is to get kids involved because we know if they're invested in something, they'll do better in school. After that, we rolled into, and that happened before school, by the way, We rolled into our Saints Day, another very positive turnout. It is just keeps evolving for us. We had our open house. Both schools went to Washington, D.C. Actually, both schools just got back this weekend. Again, if you've never been on a school trip, I would sign up to be a chaperone with one of the two schools. It is an outstanding, not only educational experience, but just a great weekend for the kids. They learned a lot more than they think they've learned at this point, and things will just keep coming back to them. But it is a very, very tiring trip, especially as you get more experienced. Every year, since cell phones came out, I've tried to take a selfie of myself in front of something. I have it in front of the Washington Monument and the Capitol Building and the White House. This was my selfie this year. So it is exhausting. I know that Marine City Middle School posted pictures to Marine City Middle School's Facebook page. I don't have Facebook, but I have Twitter. I posted a bunch of pictures on Twitter for those parents that are watching this. Please check it out, especially 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders. Start preparing for this trip. Look at the pictures, look at everything we do. It is absolutely impossible for you to do what we do on a family vacation in that amount of time. So it's a very positive trip. I can't say enough good things about it. I think I've been, I'm not even sure how many times I've been now, 15 times. And every time I go, I learn a little bit more. But both schools, very positive on both ends. And like I said, if you get a chance, people watching this online, check out the Facebook page from Marine City, check out my Twitter account, and just see what the opportunities that the students have. They'll be making a memory for a lifetime. And I think that might be my last slide. Any questions? I was told I had 45 minutes, so you guys can ask as many questions.
On the leadership program, you said you had 80 kids participate?
About 80, yeah.
Is this the first year you've done?
First year
Okay.
we did this.
All right. Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely,
Was it-
without question. We might do it a little bit differently, actually, Ms. Woman had a little bit different idea. She signed up kids that were involved in student council already.
Mm-hmm.
Totally great idea. I went a little bit different route, and I tried to get kids involved that had never been involved before. And the reason I did that is, for those of you that know me, I have 3 sons, and I have one son that just needed a kick in the tail, and I wish that kick in the tail was there when he was in middle school, and it wasn't. But the downside of that was, I had a bunch of parents call me whose kids were in student council wanting to know, why weren't we invited? So I had to work them through that. So next year I think we'll do it a little bit differently, but I absolutely would do that again.
Do you have room for more kids? I mean.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they'll take as many as we want to bring.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is a consent agenda. Motion is in order for approval of minutes. Regular Board of Education meeting, August 25th, 2014. Special Board of Education meeting, September 8th, 2014. Approval of payment of bills, financial statement, schedule of investments, recall of laid-off teachers. Motion needed.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Folsky,
Second.
second by Mr. McNamee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved. Next item, recognition of persons wishing to address the board. Eric Grunfeld.
All right, thank you for the board for allowing me to speak again tonight. I'm going to try and enlighten, hopefully, the board as to some parent frustrations as to what happened at the last school board meeting. A lot of the parents were frustrated, maybe a little upset. I've watched school board meetings from the last how many weeks to try and figure out exactly what's, I don't want to say best for my children, but hopefully what's best for the whole school district. And it's not my choice, obviously, and I'm not here to make it my choice. biggest frustration, I think, is Dr. Skolka keeps going back to transparency and transparency. And we continue to talk about transparency, and we continue to talk about budget deficits, and we continue to talk about all these things that need to be done at school board meetings, which I agree with, I do. And I'm not necessarily opposed to closing the school, I'm not saying that. But I guess the biggest frustration for me is that the last meeting, the school was closed, but there doesn't seem to really be a plan of what's happening. In the meeting in July, we talked about Putty Gut being a cutoff road, and there was a good presentation by Dr. Skolka, and in the end it was basically, well, if we do it like this, then we're going to have too many fourth graders. And I guess that would be my fear with redistricting, is that no matter, unless we draw the lines, you know, this house to that house to this house, there's always going to be these issues with, well, now we have 30 kids in this class and we have 30 kids in that class. Well, how many times are we going to redraw the lines in the next 5 years to accommodate these kids being in, you know, oh, now we have too many in this room, now we have too many in this one. I get that we need to save money, I understand that. At the same time, if we're redrawing the lines and we're leaving the line, then like Dr. Skolka stated, we need to hire another teacher because now there's 34 in kindergarten. So are we, where's the savings? I understand you're saving by closing the school, but you still have to maintain it. If we're closing Eddy, which I've heard a rumor of closing Eddy, if we close Eddy, then we're going to have to deal with buses from all the kids that used to walk. So my frustration is, I'd like to see a definitive plan, and it's frustrating that we're closing the school and we voted to close the school, but I'd like a plan so we can plan our lives. We buy houses, we move into houses thinking we're going to go to one place because we're on the border. Now we're going to go a different place. If the class numbers are this tight, how can we allow schools of choice from outside that's bringing money into the district, but allow people in district to go to the school that they thought they were going to when they bought their house? If we're going to increase revenue like we talked about with schools of choice, with getting more academic programs, with trying to get children from outside schools, how are we going to do this if our class size is already 30, 31? Or not only are people going to want to send their kids then to that school, but number two, how are we going to allow them to go to that school because there's already these giant class sizes? So my concern is that we've closed the school, we've gone over this hump, but now there's all these scenarios, and there's not a good answer. There's never going to be a great answer, but I guess I would have, as a parent, I would have liked to have been a little bit more informed. I keep my eye on the agendas. Hopefully today, the facility use options, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but sometimes little agenda items become big, like what happened last meeting. So it concerns me. Yes, we close the school, but where are we going? Let me make sure I get it all, because I tend to babble. All right. I feel like I said this winter, I don't know if anybody remembers, I spoke this winter, but I was hoping to have more input. I talked about maybe parent groups, things like that. It just seems like we've been on the same track from last winter. This is the track we were going on last winter. This was going to be done, and we went through school. We had parent meetings at school. Dr. Skolka stopped by a parent meeting, but at no point was it, hey, you know, this is going to happen. We're going to talk about school options in a week or so. I'd love to have you guys come out. Does anybody have any ideas? I'd love to talk to you. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and I feel like this has been decided from last winter, and it's basically just been put off. And I hope you understand from a parent's perspective. And I've heard rumors of, well, it's the Palms parents, and well, it's the Pine River parents, and those are the parents that need to be taken care of and things like that. Well, we're the parents on the border. We're the parents that are going to be affected by all of it. Obviously, if your kid goes to Eddie, yes, you're going to be affected. If you decide to close Eddie, you're going to go to Gearing. Well, that's still relatively close to reality for us. Depending on what school district you're in, you're talking about significant amount of mileage, a significant amount of a way of life of where your job is, of where you've planned your life. So I hope the school board takes that into consideration. Like I said, my main concern is we're trying to get these school of choice children, but if we close schools and we have 30 some odd kids in a class, where do we put them? Where? There's nowhere for them to go, which means the children that live in district are basically, we have to redraw lines every year to make sure class sizes fit. And that's, I understand it's a business, but it's frustrating. And I don't feel like if a successful business is run, if Apple decides, well, you know, the iPhone 5 is doing really bad, we're just going to stop production on iPhone 5 completely. But, well, how are we going to do that? Well, we'll figure that out in a couple weeks. That's frustrating for me. All right. Thank you. Hopefully it helps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Eric Longuski.
My name is Eric Longuski, a resident of the district. I'm also the Education Association president. Mr. Br, members of the board, Dr. Skalka, how you doing tonight? The reason I'm here is to commend you on the decision you made, though it's obviously a very uncomfortable one, that you want to close a building and not, as the gentleman before me mentioned, not knowing exactly how it's all going to play out, not knowing how the pieces are going to fit together. It has to be a difficult decision to deal with. It's not comfortable to deal with, and you didn't want to have to deal with that. As a matter of fact, I can see down the road where you may have to look into, well, maybe part of this decision, putting 5th graders into the middle school, putting 8th graders into the high school to make this all work. All kinds of options are on the table. I understand that. I think down the road, you may have to look at consolidating. There may be one high school. There may be East China High based on how finances are going. It's almost, blasphemous to talk about Mariners and Saints going to school together. But the fact of the matter is, the way you're being pinched right now, to make our district solvent, you may have to look at those kinds of options. And it's not something you look forward to doing, nor do I, being a parent from a Saint and a teacher of a Mariner. But it's one of those things, and like I say, nobody wants a situation, which brings me to my second point. The whole reason we're having to do this is the money situation that's been created by our state government for our schools. You are dealing with the pieces that somebody else just threw in your lap. I'm dealing with it as union president. Teachers, custodians, parapros, students, parents, everybody is. What I'm asking for today is that we make that known to everybody. That we do what we can in your collective wisdom and the people you know, get the word out that those people that don't support public education on November 4th need to leave. And I know I can't ask you to go ahead and vote for Terry Brown, who's committed to taking and supporting public schools, and to vote for Mark Schauer, who is going to vote for public schools, and to support those kind of people, because you can't do that, but in a way you kind of can. As a school board member, your interest and what you volunteered to do is to support our schools. Those people have pledged to do what's right for public schools. Other beliefs come in the way, I understand that. But at the very least, if you can't take, because the problem is, as a teacher, I come across as one of those that has summers off, that I've got these great benefits and we haven't sacrificed enough. And you all know that the teachers have also sacrificed a great deal, as have all the teachers across the state. But the fact of the matter is, I come across as somebody with a vested interest. You are doing the best you can for our school district, and you're in a tough spot. You saying that you people who are out there, Phil, okay, Governor Schneider, you are not taking and doing what's best for our school. At the very least, on our website, or encourage, or say, pass a resolution to at least get out the vote, and to keep in mind the impact the next 4 years could have on the East China School District. That would be greatly appreciated. Coming out and saying, vote for those people that I mentioned, which I would say again, Terry Brown and Mark Schauer, I'd appreciate that too, but that might be asking a little too much. I wish you well in these next few decisions. As a teacher group, we will support you and help in any way we can in these difficult times, as it's not your fault. Okay, we have your back in this issue. But at the same time, November 4th is a big deal for all of us, and we have to do what's right for our students, and your support in that matter would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully in the weeks and months to come, because we have a lot of special meetings, and we will call as many meetings as we need and we see fit to make sure that this process is done correctly. We're opening the discussion tonight with Dr. Skulka doing a presentation for us. This is the first of many. We do have a lot of items to look at to make this decision, and we will do that collectively as a board. And the vision starts tonight, so we thank you. Next item, any additional people wishing to address the board? Thank you. Reports, Superintendent, Dr. Skulka.
Sure. Last month, I presented the annual aggressive behavior, bullying, and harassment incident report. In that report, I questioned the validity of the data for a variety of reasons, 3 specifically. Conversion from Zangle to Skyward presented some significant problems for us. Inconsistent understanding of the definitions and inconsistent data entry. I wanted to cycle back without too much time elapsing to share with you what we have done to correct those inconsistencies in the data for moving forward. First, we've addressed the Zangle Skyward data fields to make sure that all have come across and all are functioning and all can be used. Secondly, we've met as administrative team. We've reviewed the definitions of those three areas, aggressive behavior, bullying, and harassment, so that it is consistent with state law and board policy. And lastly, I think most importantly, we have committed to ongoing monitoring as an administrative team, so that we will quarterly bring all of our incidents of those 3 behaviors together. We will meet as a team, we will discuss them so that we have consistent application of definitions and entry into the database, so that when that report is provided to you next August, you will be able to be confident in the data provided. Any questions regarding that? Okay. Secondly, and this one is much shorter, after much work on your part, and finally cooperation with Neola, board policies are now public and on the website. So there's 2 ways to get at them. One is if you can go right to the website, district website, to the Board of Ed page, and then from the Board of Ed page, there's a link to district policies. Or I have the actual long URL that skips all 3 of those steps all into that final step as part of the board agenda tonight, so anyone can take a look if they so choose. And then as we update or any laws that are changed, anything that comes about either in the state or federal, as Neola provides us updates and we approve them here, those will be updated on the site as well. And so we feel pretty good about the fact that community members, yourselves, community members, staff can see all the board policies now.
Dr. Skulka?
Yep,
Are we still going to make sure that the meeting minutes are put on there regularly?
absolutely.
All right, thank
Yes. Mhm. Okay. And that's it for my report, at least that part of it.
Next item on the agenda is information discussion items, facility use options. Dr. Skulka.